y'all, it's time.
Come on, let's go. Let's do it.
Rolling on the road
With the doc,
rolling on the road,
with Dave,
rolling on the road.
with the doc.
100 shades of the possibilities with Dave and Dr. Burton.
All right. That was cool. Yeah.
And I love it.
Who is that singing?
That was my cousin.
That's fun.
Yeah. Since we're rolling on the road. Today is Wednesday, the 14th of February, and we want to say thank you so much for tuning in and happy Valentine's Day. For those of you who are watching the replay on GRTV, it is Wednesday, February 14th, the day of love. And what a wonderful day to celebrate this with than none other than the maestro himself, Mr. Dwayne. Drum roll, please. Yes, thank you. I'm just excited. Mr. Dwayne Davis. And many of you have been watching our TikTok video that we were together this past weekend. And I think it's almost at like 700 views. And so we both are honored. So this is the person that I was dancing with. Yes.
I had fun. Thanks for inviting me to dance.
But we were at the celebration of soul. Every year, they've done, for how many years now have they done Symphony of Soul?
22, somewhere. Yeah.
And the maestro himself and his wife are founding members. He is the conductor of the community chorale that sings with the symphony every single year. And if you don't watch out, you'll see him conducting the symphony. Boom, 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 boom. And he has just been all over the country. I think what I like most about him is when he's doing his jazz. Yeah, that jazz. I just love to see you in your element. Many of you who are watching today have sung alongside him, have traveled with him. I have the honor of way back when, way back when, he came to St. Stephen's School.
Oh my God. Kim.
And he was the choir director for our 8th grade choir.
Oh my gosh. That's a long time.
Count the years, friends and neighbors. That's about
I agree. It was not that many years ago.
That many years ago. But then I graduated from there. I went to City High School, and you were teaching music down at GRCC, which is Grand Rapids Community College, is what it was called then. And my mother was a part of the Ropes and Players, and you would do the music for the Ropes and Players with Cedric Ward. Many of you, I'm going way back, y'all, way back. And I used to love the musical rehearsals because I thought I could do all the songs. My favorite one was "Don't Bother Me" because I can't cope.
Don't bother me, I can't cope. I love it.
I said, "Don't bother me," because I can't cope. And then you would be like, "Get those notes. They need to be crisp. When I stop that piano, you need to stop singing." Crisp. Come on, ready? 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, and you'd be standing up, bouncing. It's like you never sat on the piano seat. You know, you're just up, bouncing. Okay, come on. And peering over your glasses like this and peering over the piano.
It's incredible.
And finally, I left. I went to Denver. I came back. And my senior year of high school, Oh my gosh, they said, "Are we gonna take choir?" I was like, "I'm taking choir. I don't even know who the teacher is, but I'm taking choir." And I came in that room, and it was you, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm really excited." And the first thing you said to me, "Is it gonna be pulling teeth to get you to sing?"
Why do you remember that?
I don't want nothing. I don't want no stuff out of you, young lady. You understand me? Because you know I know your mama, and
Oh,
I didn't heard you sing down there at that theater. So don't come in here with that.
you, I, I can't believe I can't, I can't believe you remember that.
We say, "Hey, good afternoon" to Vertaji. She's coming in from Detroit. And we say good afternoon to Shayna. Shayna is coming in from Maryland. She
Wow.
said, "Not pulling teeth." You know what? Don't repeat that. Thank you,
Hey,
Shayna.
Shannon, just erase that.
I just, yep. He said, "No, I ain't pulling teeth." He said, "I know your mama," and I was like, "Oh man." And then we could move forward even more. So I got grown and had to audition for the symphony chorus. Somebody said they're having auditions and you really need to go down there. You need to stretch yourself. I get down there. I have my sheet music with me. And
Oh my goodness.
I had to hand you my sheet music. And you were busy bustling around. You were like, "Okay, just give me that, give me that, give me that." And then he was like, "Okay, are you ready? Because we're only doing one take." And then you looked up and you said, "Oh my goodness. Look, this ain't gonna be pulling no teeth with you, is it? Are you gonna sing?"
I can't. You're making this up.
I said, "Sir, I am going to sing." And you started playing, and I had brought in my the music from the Wiz.
Mm, what was
Because
it?
it
If
was
you
that,
believe,
huh?
if you
Yes,
believe,
yes. You stopped playing, and I stopped singing, and I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't get it. Did I do something wrong?" You were like, "No, that's all I need to hear. I'll talk to you afterwards." I was like, "Oh dang, I ain't get it." And hey, Pat Wembley, thank you so much for tuning in. Uh, so afterwards, you were like, "Don't be trying to get out of here. Come here. I need to see you." And I was like, "Yes, sir." Because they said that they were going to post, whether you got it or not. And you said, "Where has that voice been all this time?"
oh my God, you remember
Where has
all
that
those
voice
things.
been? And then you said, "And I'm going to even push you just a little bit more. And I'm going to ask you to try to start singing soprano because it's there. It's
Wow,
there."
wow. It's amazing when people, people remember uh, things that I forget. I'm getting an echo. I don't know why. Um, and I hope they're positive memories. When I say something to you, I can't believe that you went all the way back to St. Stephen's. That's amazing.
You were teaching us "Oh Happy Day," and you wanted me, I think Demita was supposed to sing one verse and I was supposed to sing another. So when I told Demita you were going to be on the show, she said, "Oh my God, I just did something with him a couple years back." And I sent her the TikTok video and I said, "Yeah, he's going to come on the show." She's like, "Oh my God." She said, "Tell him I said hi." And I said, "I will." But I want to say hi to Jessica Mayer for tuning in. Thank you so much, Jessica, for tuning in. And you really, in the disability world, we don't like it when people say, "Oh my God, you're such an inspiration," and they pat you on the head. Because my inspiration should inspire you to do something. And so you to me were inspirational, which inspired me to move and do more and really explore what it is that God had given me. So for that, I want to say thank you.
So I can't say that you inspire me.
Sure.
I mean,
No, I said people will say, "Oh my God, you're such an inspiration,"
yeah,
because I get up and I show up for life. I'm like, well, you got up and showed up for life, and I just may have to work a little bit harder at it. Watch, I know Shayna gets it. What did Shayna say?
Shayna said not pulling teeth. She's back on not pulling
Are
teeth.
you back to that again? Oh my gosh. So it's it
Because
is
you inspire. I mean, the other night we were at the after party and you got on the floor and you just danced and then you're happy and you smile and then you kind of beacon to me to come dance with you. We had a great time.
mhm,
But that's an inspiration to me because it's
right. But you were in that inspiration inspired you to an action.
yes,
You know, you didn't just stand on the side and say, "Oh my God, that is so inspirational."
yeah,
Oh my gosh, it was inspirational to you. And then when I reached out my hand to have you come join me, you were like, my inspiration inspired you to
to
do.
come join
Yep, yep.
and discover. I mean, what are we going to do? And, you kind of led and I led. We turned. It was great.
It really was.
Yeah,
But I want to know, Doretha,
she's,
Doretha,
Yes.
Doretha. Okay, can you hit it?
what is Teresa getting?
You got it.
Day will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Where were you when that
Well,
speech was given? And how old were
that
you?
I was a senior in high school, or actually, that was um, August 26th, 1963. March on Washington. I'm from Cleveland, and I was about to start my senior year in high school, and I wanted to go with my friend to DC to experience that firsthand. I wasn't sure what I was going to experience, but I wanted to, and my mother would not allow me to. In hindsight, I understand why. Because I had a brother that was killed by hit and run driver when I was 8 or 9. It was on my birthday. And so my mother was so affected by that from that point until her death that she was protective of her other two sons. And So I understand why she did not want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. We were going in a car with friends, so that would be one reason she wouldn't want me to go. So I remember that period very well.
Do you think that the dream has been realized?
I think it depends on no, fully realized? No, absolutely not. For me, I have I don't accept, uh, I won't say challenges. I will say, man, this
Is your phone off?
my phone is off. It's turned off, but I'm not sure it is. That's all right. That's why I'm stuttering a little bit. I'm just checking one thing. I don't accept barriers that might ordinarily keep people from doing things. I'm from Cleveland. I'm a musician, but a lot of people think that I should not have made a profession in music.
Why?
And because when I finished high school, I didn't go to college. I was always in choir, musicals, and but I didn't have formal training. We didn't have a piano. I never took private lessons until I went to college. So when I finished high school, I worked for Erie Lackawanna Railroad, and my father worked for that same railroad, but I had I had clerical skills. I had taken
Mhm.
shorthand. I was a fast typer. I could do all of those things. So I was the first African American to be hired in the clerical department, and I was making more money than my father.
Oh, wow.
I mean, as an 18-year-old, and he had been working for the railroad for 30, 35 years.
You know what? Do you want to go out and come back in, and I can do my station identification while you come in and out?
Yes.
Okay.
So should I just close?
Close out and
Okay.
uh, and come back in while I do the station identification.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Because I can hear the echo a little bit, and it's he will be right back as we do a station identification. You are watching Rolling on the Road, and today is Wednesday, February 14th. It is the Love Day. So I hope that you're enjoying yourself and enjoying the one that you love. You can watch us on the replay on Mondays at 2 p.m., Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., and Thursdays at 8 p.m. on GRTV 25. And we are on YouTube at 100 Shades of Diversability. So you can always come back and watch the replay. And we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And our guest today is none other than Dwayne Davis, who is a conductor down at the Grand Rapids Symphony. So you were talking about being in clerical.
So, ooh, now you can't hear me. Can you hear
Yes, I
me?
can. Mhm.
Okay. I was making more money than my father, and it was cool with him, but we were in different bargaining units. And it was during that year that I also wanted to keep doing something in music. So I auditioned for the Cleveland Orchestra and the Cleveland Orchestra Chorus. And Cleveland Orchestra was very famous at that time, but I had gone. I didn't have any reason to feel nervous. I just want to keep singing. I had gone to a high school where my high school choir director was an amazing musician. Dr. Christie was probably the first Black woman in this school of 3,500. Maybe a third of the students were African American, and she had amazing choirs. So I had had good training from her, but not being able to afford to go to college and not really knowing what I wanted to do if I went to college.
Mhm.
I thought I would be a clerical court stenographer, someone that transcribes everything that happens in court. So I auditioned for the choir with the Cleveland Orchestra, and I made it. I was the youngest kid or youngest person in that choir of
Mhm.
maybe 125. I was 18, and I was the youngest, and I sat right in the front row of rehearsals. I should have been nervous. I was nervous once I got accepted. Why am I telling you this? Because during that year,
Mhm.
my choir director said, "Why are you not in college?" I'm going,
Oh,
"This is Christy. You know I love music, but I don't think I could make it into college because I hadn't studied privately." She said, "I want you to audition for Dr. Nathan Carter because the Knoxville College Choir is coming to Cleveland. And afterwards, I want you to sing for him and see if you can get a scholarship." I did. The choir, first of all, during that concert, I was
what
amazed.
year was this?
This is 1964, 5.
Mm.
Like 1965 is when I went to Knoxville. 1964, I graduated. So it was the fall of 1965 that I went to college. So it was probably maybe March, April of 65. I had never heard an all black college choir or any black choir sing the way they sang. Not
Mm.
only did they sing spirituals, but they would sing Bach and they would sing everything. It was amazing. I mean, when I say it was amazing, it was amazing. Their tone, their musicianship, their sound. I wanted to be a part of that. Now I'm going to audition for this conductor. I don't think I'm good enough, but stop saying negatives to myself. And I
She
auditioned.
says,
I sang German
Shayna
piece.
says,
You
I
know the
know the
choir.
choir is.
How do you know, Shayna? That was an amazing choir. I'm not joking. So I sang for Dr. Carter, and I'll wait for your response. But I sang for him, and he was a no nonsense director.
Mm-hmm.
I received a scholarship. It was the first time I had been south. You didn't even know we were going this way, did you?
Oh, snap.
I went south for the first time. That's where I met my wife. I walked in that music building and tears came in my eyes because students were playing sonatas, they were singing arias, they were doing all the things I couldn't do. And I thought, I am in the wrong place. I wanted to go home.
Mm. We're going to put a pin right there. We're going to say thank you so much to Tracy Walls, who is in Maryland, who is tuning in, Arlene Edwards, Juanita Campbell. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Shayna says to you,
Hmm. Yeah. So you know when someone is really singing with their heart, with their soul, and it's powerful. And to hear 40 singers, and it didn't change when I went to Knoxville. That sound, to be in the middle of that, and to travel around the country and watch audiences respond to that sound was unforgettable. And
so you were in a time right around, with King and they call the Negro spirituals that they were singing. Do you think that we have music like that now?
You know, when I used to do spirituals with my high school students and with my college students, sometime I would look at the black student and they would kind of like move away because some of the spirituals would have dialect, and I would have to talk to them afterwards, and I said, this is our history. It's not, we're not poking fun at what was sung. We're paying respect because the African Americans laid the foundation for American music. Everything came out of these spirituals, the blues and jazz and every other American art. It's the original American music,
Hmm.
and we need to be proud of it.
She said, Shayna says, I see a comment. Wait a minute. There we go. She said music has changed a lot.
It has changed. And I think, well, integration, first of all, has caused that because now we're borrowing, we're listening, people are stealing. You know, I mean, this music has been infused with so many things. It's like when I do a workshop with choral directors and they want to say, "Oh, I love spirituals," and I say, "Name one," and they give me the name of a song by Richard Smallwood, or I saw that name on your, or you know, any other gospel. I said, "No, that's gospel." And
That's not a.
spirituals are different. Spirituals
Mm,
are the folk music, and they were generally done a cappella. They were um, folk music never changes. Gospel music changes according to how we change. It's like gospel music and popular music go hand in hand because as pop music changes, so does gospel. Like,
look, I found this. Um,
There's a little song within our breast with words of hope and love. The melody blends as we join hands with faith in God above. Dr. Martin Luther King now tells us of this song.
There's a little song that we sing in our movement down in the South. I don't know if you've heard it. It has become the theme song. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Though I join hands so often with students and others behind jail bars singing it, we shall overcome. Sometimes we've had tears in our eyes when we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome. No, before this victory's won, some will have to get thrown in jail some more, but we shall overcome. Don't worry about us. Before the victory's won, some of us will lose jobs, but we shall overcome. Before the victory's won, even some will have to face physical death. The physical death is the price that some must pay. To free their children from a permanent psychological death, then nothing shall be more redemptive. We shall overcome. For the victory's won, some will be misunderstood and called bad names and dismissed as rabble rousers and agitators, but we shall overcome. And I'll tell you why. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadows, keeping watch above his own. We shall overcome because the Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. And with this faith, we will go out and adjourn the councils of despair and bring new light into the dark chambers of pessimism. And we will be able to rise from the fatigue of despair to the buoyancy of hope. And this will be a great America. We will be the participants in making it so. And so as I leave you this evening, I say, walk together, children. Don't you get weary as the great meetings in the promise.
He was such a powerful speaker, just taking what should be common sense to most people and putting it right in front of your face. And I believe that, truth always wins. I don't know the journey because it's been a long journey, but the truth shall win. It's like the Bible says, the last shall be first. And I believe that. I mean, all of the folks that doubted me initially, why is he directing the opera? Why is he conducting the orchestra? Why did he get asked to come to Japan to represent, this country and talk about jazz? Because my maker has ordained that it's going to be. And
absolutely,
there's a way that when you think you don't have what it takes, quite often we do have what it takes, but we're our worst enemy when we don't believe that we can.
true.
And well, that's powerful.
I am. Oh, we got some hearts and some likes just came across the stream. Thank you so much for that. What I love about this show is the transparency and the moments that we have, and where we can be in our truth, whatever that truth is. And so I love these truth moments. I do.
I think people we've grown accustomed to putting on facades, putting on covers, trying to not show what's the real us sometime, for fear that we may be ridiculed or we may be shamed or something. But you talk about just being honest and getting to the core of who we are. And as a 77-year-old, it's certainly easier to be honest than it was when I was 35.
True.
Because I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I love myself, but it took a while to love myself. And I don't want kids to, yeah.
Look, I got the tissue. Got the tissue.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's. I do love myself, but I think when I was in high school, I didn't. Now, why? I don't get it. Why do people?
I tell people it took me being in a wheelchair to really fall in love with me and not be a people pleaser. And, people will come up, oh my gosh, you're so pretty to be in a wheelchair. I am just so sorry. And I was like, why are you sorry? Because you're in that chair. And I just feel so bad. I said, honey, let me tell you something. I was more crippled when I was walking around than I ever have been in this wheelchair. And this like, I trust me. If I was walking around, I never would have got out there on that dance floor. I'd wait for somebody else, or I'd sit in the chair and, bebop in the chair.
Yeah.
But here it is, I'm going around the room. Well, dance, come on, let's go. Let's go on the dance floor. And just a confidence, or I call it Godfidence.
That's great.
I call it Godfidence because he healed me from the inside out. that I was so broken and crippled, and what you see now is what was used to be on the inside of me. And nobody ever asked if I was okay or what can I do. But now, people want to rush over because they see me in the chair, and it's like, I can help you more than you can help me. You know, um,
Yeah. Why we allow negatives to bloom inside, I don't know. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. My hair's not kinky enough, or it's not straight enough. I'm not tall enough, or I'm not short enough. I'm not, or I'm not fat enough. I don't know.
it's
Enough.
just,
I mean, I'm
and
enough.
I tell you, in this is the beginning of my 11th year in my wheelchair, and I cannot, wow, believe it sometimes. But I have lived more on purpose and more intentionally than I ever have. And I don't ever stop to think about how I look or whether I'm good or not good enough.
Oh, you
Whereas,
must stop. You must stop. Look at those eyelashes. You're going, ah. I mean, every time I see you, you live with intention. And I love that. I mean, why should
and
I
it's like,
weep? Well, you're just happy.
and I wake up in the morning and I wheel myself in that bathroom and I said, "Good morning, pretty girl. I expect great things out of you." Because when I first had my stroke, it was difficult. I'm not gonna tell no lie. I was angry, and I said, I haven't even had an opportunity to be an empty nester yet. It's only been, 60 days. Come on. And now I'm gonna be in this wheelchair. I was like, oh, skip it. And I can hear little voices. This is my truth. I remembered every little, how can I remember what you said to me? Because in that moment, I had to remember anything good that was ever said to me. Okay, now I need to tell you. Um,
Yes.
I
Yep.
had to, I had to remember anything good that was said to me, anybody who believed in me, so I could hold on to it to get to where I am today.
You look in the mirror and you say words of encouragement. And you know what, Kim? I do the same thing. I'll look right in my pupil in that mirror and I'm going, you are one bad dude.
That's it.
And I'm just go out on that stage, whether I'm at Carnegie Hall or DeVos Hall or in a classroom, because, okay, I'm refueled now. I believe in myself. I know I have something to say, something to contribute. And yeah, you're a bad dude.
That's it. I just I wheel in that bathroom and many a day. And I said, I know you don't feel like it today, baby. I know your body is not matching your spirit because they're different. There are days where my body is not matching my spirit. And so my spirit has to tell my body, okay, we need you to line up. We need you to go out there. We need you to kind of give it your best shot. But I expect great things out of you, and I need you to do something for me. Come on now. Let's go.
Isn't that beautiful? These
That's why
words
I
of
love it when
wisdom.
she told me, she said, God told me to write this intro for you, but I want music. So she just played it, sang it a cappella. And I said, I don't want no music. Yeah, but I got to take it in the studio. I said, I don't want all that. I just need that right there. And I had gotten sick when she did it. And it got me through. Because at the beginning, what did she say? She said, come on, y'all. It's time. Come on, y'all. It's time. And it's rolling on the road with the dot. And I'm just like, ooh, thank you, Jesus. Okay. And I would just sit and play it over and over. we gotta roll because it's time. And if I had to lay in the bed for 15 minutes and keep playing it over and over, come on, y'all, it's time. Come on, y'all, it's time. And that was just to get myself to get up to make it to the bathroom and say, okay, good morning, pretty girl. I
Yeah.
expect great things out of you. And then I show up to places like the Vault Hall, or we were at JW Marriott,
Yes.
and it's like, oh my gosh, everybody just was, who is that? And just whizzed by. Oh my gosh. But you don't know the self-talk I had to do to get myself here.
I know. But talking about being an inspiration, because I don't ever remember a time that you allowed your being in a wheelchair to be an impediment. I mean, because you always glow, you always have a yesness about you. You have a no excuses. Man, we could have excuses up the wazoo, but today I was reading, you're talking about 56 years later, have we realized King's dream? And, we always start our concert with Lift Every Voice and Sing. And there have been people, you need to say something?
Yeah.
There,
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the time.
okay. There have been people that have resisted standing, and because they think that we shouldn't be singing Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Oh, I saw it. I saw
And
it. I
today
saw it.
I was reading an article by Jackie Lewis, who's a minister in New York. I don't know if you know her, Reverend Dr. Jackie Lewis, and she was talking about Matt Gates, I think his name is, a senator, a congressman, did not want to look at the Super Bowl because they were going to do that. And she just broke down why the Star Spangled Banner dishonors Black folks,
Mm-hmm.
because the writer of it was a slave owner. And it was just an interesting article. You should read it sometime. I'll
Forward
send
it
it.
to me.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It is now 4:45, and you are tuned into Rolling on the Road. Today is Wednesday. Wow, the Love Day, February 14th. And if you are watching on GRTV 25 on the replay, we want to say thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. And our guest today is Mr. Dwayne Davis. And in case you're wondering how you can watch this again, or if you're just tuning in and you did not get to see the beginning, you can watch it on GRTV on Mondays at 2 p.m., Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. And you can always go to YouTube, 100 Shades of Diversibility, and all of our shows have been are listed on there, all our lives. We have been on, this is our 4th year. Can you believe it, friends and neighbors? We started right in the heart of the pandemic, and we are still going strong. And now we've made it on to cable television channel 25. So we are so excited, and it's because of all of you that we are getting to do all of this. And you keep telling one friend and they tell another. And I'm so grateful for my friends that trek with us every week, all the way from Maryland. We have Tracy, who's in Maryland, and we have Shayna, who is in Maryland. So we appreciate our Maryland folks that tune in, and our Georgia folks, and Detroit, and we have Chicago on. We have Nigeria. Thank you so much. And we got California. Yeah, we appreciate all of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're going to keep on rolling on the road. Yes, we are. And so we are talking, this is segment number 4. And this year makes 56 years since Dr. King gave his I Have a Dream speech. And the question, posed is, how far have we come? Have we realized the dream? And we've gone to different sectors within the community. Today, we are with the arts and music in particular. I would have to say, if you're not from the Grand Rapids, Michigan area, for over 20 years, we have what we call Symphony with Soul. and Dr. Dwayne can speak on it even more because he and his wife are the ones who are part of, it's an inception and why we have it. But on Saturday, more than 100 voices of a mixed choir performed with an all-white symphony. And I don't even think she's 5 foot, is she?
Just about.
So,
She's short. Yeah.
I mean, if she's 5 foot, Leela James got on that stage
And was 7 feet.
and just grew exponentially. But what I loved is that she stopped and I cried. I mean, tears just came down my face when she asked for the house lights to come up. Ooh. She said, "This is history. This is history." And asked someone to take a selfie with her standing with the crowd behind her. That this little bitty old woman from LA was here in West Michigan singing with the symphony. And the fact that her daughter
Played.
plays the violin and her daughter was playing with her. Okay.
She posted that on her site. And I had a rehearsal because this weekend we're doing Black Panther, and I'm still preparing a course for that. And one of the choir members showed me that she had recorded some of the music and had posted and talked about her experience in Grand Rapids. That's pretty amazing because a lot of people just don't even know about this area. I say I'm from Michigan and they go, "Oh, you're from Detroit?" I'm going, "No."
No, you got to do like this. Right here. Detroit's over here.
Yeah,
I'm right here.
yeah. And I think they're always surprised that we ran into two couples. One was from Chicago, and they said, "This is the first time we've been here. We came to see Leela, but we're going to come back because we don't have this going on in Chicago." I'm going, "Come on, you do."
Are you serious?
They want to sing in the chorus. And they said, "We'll drive up." I said, "Wow." Then we met another couple after I had danced with you at the post-concert reception. And we were leaving, and they said, "Oh, it was such a great evening." And I said, "I'm glad you enjoyed it." And they walked out in the lobby, and I thought they were gone. Then they turned around. They said, "No, can we take a picture with you?" I said, "Yeah, sure." They said, "We drove here from Cleveland." I said, "Cleveland?
Oh,
I'm
that's
from
your
Cleveland."
hometown.
They said, "This is our third year, and we're going to just keep coming because this is great." It's amazing what the artists that have graced our stage and our city, and the community that come together, and people from around the country that come here for this program, for this event.
Well, that's why she said the dance. Oh, Shana said the dance that we have is amazing. Thank you.
I've been working on that for 77 years, Shana, and I was trying to, put my swag on, but Dr. Kim just she does her thing. So I just kind of enjoyed it along with her. Thank you, Shana.
I'm going to try to see. Dave's not here. I can send stuff to him and he puts it up. So I'm going to attempt to try to do it. But the reason why I sent that video to you from YouTube, oh, we're getting all kinds of hearts and likes. Thank you guys. Is that the one year Richard Smallwood came I was in the choir then, and that was phenomenal for me because my children were in there with me.
Yeah.
So it was just really, really nice. And he came in there. I did him the same way that I did you. So when you get a chance to watch the interview, uh, I said, you came to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you came in on our rehearsal the day of the show. And you said it's disrespectful to not sing a musician's song. And let me show you. And I said, Deb Perry was on the piano. He bumped her off the piano and I said, you started playing for us. And you started saying, okay, come on, sopranos, alto, tenor. This is your note. Let's go. And he said, yep, you met me. You saw me. You were in rehearsal. I do that. And I just was like, this is so surreal.
Wow. The
to
fact
have
that you interviewed him, I can't wait to look at that segment.
And that is my most watched video. It has 8,207 views.
Amazing.
And when you go to Google it, you just type in interview with Richard Smallwood. Sometimes I come up number one. Today I came up number 3. And but I'm always in the top 10 somewhere as far as, when you just type in YouTube, interview with Richard Smallwood, you'll see that purple come up.
Richard Smallwood has been an inspiration to me. I mean, he doesn't know it. Isn't it amazing that you can inspire
But
someone
wait a
and
minute, but I have his book. He wrote the book, and it's over there on my shelf, and he signed it for me for being on the show. His manager said, okay, he'll be on, and he's going to sign a copy of his new book because his book had just come out. And because he was in Atlanta, the sister circle or something like that.
yeah,
He was on there first and then came to me. So I was like, what? So usually when you pull it up, you'll see when it comes up on the algorithm with YouTube, you'll see their interview and then mine is like right behind it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But what I love, I actually got him, he was sitting at his piano when he was doing the interview. And I actually got him to play a song and sing for me at the end.
wow.
So you got to watch it to the end.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's, both gospel and he's classically trained, and he influences that
What's she said?
classical music. You got Mr. Davis. You too, Dr. Kim.
Thank you, Shane.
Thanks, Shayna. So he's been an inspiration of mine since high school, post high school a little bit. Yeah. The fact that you interviewed him, Kim, bravo.
He I told him because he at that time he was talking about his book, and I said I want to talk about You the Man, and it was called Leading While Bleeding. So we talked about his depression, him suffering from depression, and wanting to commit suicide. And I mean, we really went there. He talked about his mother, his uncle, and
That's
about
fantastic.
his life. And he said, his manager said, he liked you. He doesn't normally talk like that. I mean, I've never seen him go that in depth like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
Whoa, amazing.
and I said, what do you do? And I said, when you're on stage, you have just, I mean, preached folks back to life, sang them to good health. You were in front of 15,000 people. And he said, and I went back to my hotel room and I Googled how to commit suicide without making a mess.
The fact that you got him to say that in an interview. How is he now?
He's good. He just celebrated his 75th birthday. And I was going to reach out. What I appreciated is that I made the promo. He put it on his on all of his social media outlets and said, "Tune in. I'm going to be on her show," which I appreciated. He did it himself. He put it on his Facebook page. He put it on his Instagram page.
That's awesome, Kim. Well, I think it has to do with your making people feel comfortable and allowing things to just flow. So, bro, I can't wait to see that segment.
I got a chance to interview Yana Crawley as well, who was the winner of Sunday's Best Season 2. And I got her right as she was preparing to star in Coming to America Part 2, or Coming to America 2.
Yeah.
Because she sings at the end in the court, in the palace.
Wow.
Yeah.
Knocking the door shall be open.
Yeah.
Ye shall find.
And then I got a chance to interview Latisse Crawford. And I ended up seeing a video with her doing it on television, doing a tribute to Oleta Adams, singing one of her songs. And I about fell out of my chair and I said, "Oh my God." I interviewed her. And I mean, we got to go on so good that we ended up doing a 2-parter. So she came on one week and then came on the next week. And I said, "Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Awesome.
Whoa." But again, it is that voice pulling from those that spoke into me.
Mm-hmm.
And you were one of them. You know, you got this. And I guess what I remember the most and what I hold on to is I want to say when you did the auditions for Porgy and Bess, which I still have my big music book sitting right there behind me.
Oh my gosh. You know, I did that twice in Grand Rapids, but then I did it also in Charleston with the whole cast was professional. They had all, I mean, these were voices like you wouldn't believe. And to be in the city that inspired the composer to write it. It was like,
I was stationed there in the Navy.
Whoa.
And my children were born there. That's why it was so significant. I was like, Catfish Row. Oh yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
We back in the 80s, to me, it was like they were stuck in time. Because you could go to James Island and Johns Island. They didn't even have electricity back in the 80s. They still had outhouses.
Isn't that something?
And I was like, wait a minute, this is the 80s. Are you serious?
Yeah.
And so when I heard that they were going to do it, I said, I got to audition. I really do. And that's when you told me that I needed to think about stretching out and doing soprano. And you said, I think that you would do really well. Otherwise, I'll still keep you as a really strong alto and you can hold that down. Because I think we had more white people that year. And you said, we're really going to need those voices and give it that flavor, kind of that, we need a little flavor. And I was like, okay. But I like that.
Kim, but there was only one white person in that cast, except for the policeman there. Because
no, I'm talking about in our choir. I wasn't in the play. I was in the choir.
I know. There was only one white person in that choir.
For us?
Mm-hmm.
We had white folks. I'm sorry. Is that politically correct?
I don't know what's politically correct anymore. You can't breathe politically correctly. Well,
it was that piece though for me of saying stretch out. I need you to stretch it. And then you always do this. This is your thing. Okay. You have this thing where you go, I
you
need to
study me.
And I need you to, and then you start here at the at the belly button. And so you have this hand like this at the base of the belly button, and you take this hand and you come up and you go, this is what I need you to do. This. I need you to do this. And so in my mind, when I get to a junction and I get fearful, I do this. I gotta stretch it. I need you to stretch.
You have been studying me. That's. I love that. Oh my gosh. Oh, Kim, there's so many places where we could have gone. You see this? This is my.
Oh my gosh.
This is me. Wait a minute. I can't. Yeah, right there. And my older brother next to my mother. And this is my brother who was killed. And this is the only family picture I have that has my dad, my mom, and my brother, and all of that.
Wow.
And so I keep it right here in front of me.
Give me just 1 second. Give me 1 second. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Rolling on the Road, and we will see you on next Tuesday. However, this is just for television only. We're going to continue on. So if you want to see more, please go over to YouTube, 100 Shades of Diversibility, and you can find us and you can watch the rest of the show. You guys enjoy. Have a good evening. All right.
So I look at that kid not knowing what his life is going to be like down the road. None of us know. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be.
No.
And you have to trust that the angels are going to be there and all of that you're placed in good hands to direct you. And I still depend on good hands to direct me. I mean, I have my wife there, I have my children, and I have people that I trust. But as I venture into new things, I may have to depend on someone that I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the likes. And they're just going up across the screen. And we want to say thank you to Michelle Eason for tuning in. I appreciate you. I agree. And you are definitely someone that I keep in my purview, and I think about all the things that you would say, and the time spent with you while you're teaching, the music to us during each symphony performance. And I watch you.
Just like I watched. It's not, I didn't create any of this. It's because I looked at people that I respected. I looked at people that poured into me. And so it's just like pour in and let flow.
Now, I have a question though, because we've always been able to do music. Always. Maybe we didn't get paid what everybody else got paid.
Yep.
We had to go in the back door. We had the Chitlin circuits and all of that.
Yep.
But where have we moved since then in that respect? Do you think that, just to watch Leela and her daughter, Layla, and her daughter, and how it made her feel in 2024, should we still feel that way?
It's like I look at the orchestra and I'm going, where are the Black folks? And I know that, the orchestra has made a concerted effort to that's why they have Mosaic scholars. But when you get Black folks at a certain educational level musically, they're going to move on to a larger orchestra, to a Baltimore, to a Cleveland, to a Pittsburgh, to a San Francisco, and we've had a few stellar musicians come through the orchestra, but their talent is so big that they can move to a higher place. And we are such a rich culture musically. I mean, we're rich in many ways, but we're
Mm-hmm.
so rich, and yet we have allowed others to take what we do so instinctively and to take ownership of it in a sense.
Now, I have a question for you, though. So I saw all of those Mosaic scholars on the stage.
Yep.
How many of them do you retain to get them to be in the orchestra when they get older?
I'd say the percentage is real small. And, a lot of those kids, for them to have that opportunity to sit next to their teacher and play with a professional orchestra can be inspiring or intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this could just be a passing thing for some of them, or I don't know the percentage, Kim. That's a good question of students that might continue with music after they finished this chapter in their life.
Because one of the things, that they were doing was trying to retain talent, as it relates to teaching or engineering, and other fields, that they don't go other places. But what about music?
I used to question myself when I would have a choir and wonder, where are the black students? And something about the arts, there's a discipline that's needed, a focus that it's not, how do I say this? It's not instantaneous.
Mm-hmm.
And, my wife is down the hall teaching piano right now. And all of her, she has maybe 12 students, and all except a couple are black. They are amazing.
Mm.
But these are students who they do a lot of things well. They're good in school. They're good
Mm-hmm.
in sports, and they're good musicians. But the ones who don't stick around are those who don't want to practice. They want to be able to do it right now. And you can't. You can't be a dancer right now if it, depending on the dance that you're doing. But even if I'm doing I don't know, whatever kind of modern dance or contemporary dance, there's still practice that comes into play. There's still, you have to do it over and over to train your muscles to do it. You have
Mm-hmm.
to you have to learn how to mix paint over it and over to get the right texture, the right shade. And I think, unfortunately, many times our students who are naturally, many of them are so naturally gifted in music. But when you sit them behind an academic thing of learning notes, learning rhythms, they don't they don't necessarily want to do that. I don't know how to say it
You said it well,
because they
and that's because we don't get trained.
I this is they can do things with their ear just the way I could when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you move a piece of music in front of them, they don't they don't they don't want to take the time to learn until someone forces them, like, kid, you have so much talent in you, and if you could speak this language with your ear and this language with your head, you'll be untouchable. That's why you have the Quincy Jones and other great people like that, because they understand ear, and head. They understand both sides of it. So
Ray Sheen said, "We love you, Mr. Davis."
I love you too, Ray Sheen. Man, talking about talent. That's a talent right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Have we realized King's dream? I really have not been denied because I don't allow that to enter my life. I don't look for the negative. I don't dwell in the negative. I move forward like I'm supposed to do this. And I think that's what we have to do. We have to encourage our young people to not allow no to be in a vocabulary, not even
I
pick up no vibes. There's no in this room right now. There's no in what you're going to do. There's only yes, and that you're supposed to do it. So do it. Don't be jarred by those naysayers.
agree. And I believe that's how I do a lot of the things because I don't come in the room with the assumption that the answer is no.
Mm-hmm. I don't either. You deal with your knownness, but right now I'm supposed to be here doing this.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think so. I click present, share screen. All right, show share screen. Go here. Wait
What
a
are you
minute.
trying to share?
Huh?
What are you trying to share?
Okay, wait a minute. I may have to pull it up. Can you see it? Did it come through?
No.
Oh, there it goes.
That was a good band. I don't even know why you want to dance with an old man. You're always smiling. You have such an attitude about you. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
So we did do it, guys. We did do it. We did do it.
We did
And
do.
and that's just living life unapologetically, And do I feel that the dream is being realized? Absolutely. For me, I say yes.
For me, yeah,
I'd have to say yes.
yeah. Um, I do too. And some people get bothered. Maybe I don't know if they do. I don't want to project what I think they may think,
Oh, can you
but
see this? Look what's on the table.
These beautiful flowers, is it?
Those are the flowers from
Oh,
off the table.
yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
And then I have a whole row down there, and then another container all the way down there full of them. So there were 34 tables, and she gave me 22 of them. So I got 22 of the
Oh,
of the
Kim.
34. So those are things that I say, have we realized the dream? Absolutely. That I can go into a JW Marriott. It was, oh my gosh, just beautiful.
Wasn't it
And,
beautiful?
and just the table setting was impeccable. And then these arrangements, and to say, you know what, I want that. And to ask for it, and the answer was yes. And it was like, how many do you want? And I said, as many as I can have. And she says, well, no problem. I tell you what, we're going to have these ready for you so that when you come back from the concert and you come to the after party, we're going to have this all ready. So when I came in, they had a cart where they had bagged up each one was wrapped individually. They had dried them off. They were all clean and all ready to go. And each one was individually wrapped. There were 22 stacked up. And I just did like this. And I said, God, I thank you. I thank you.
Oh, Kim.
And I said, the dream has been realized because I asked and it was given most graciously, kindly, with, so much
You know
fervor.
why? Because you project a positive. There's nothing negative when someone meets you. There's nothing negative. And I think you get back what you give. You know, if you had some attitude like give me those flowers or something, it may not have happened.
She may have said, yeah, you can take the ones that's on your table.
Yeah, yeah. Not even that, because we paid for them, so I'm glad you liked them. But you, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
But it's like I love flowers. They just give me so much joy. And they just keep
bring me joy. Yeah.
And I have these huge peace plants that, and one just bloomed. And I said, oh my goodness, because that's just, my daddy would always say, what's in you will come out of you, and everybody's going to know about it. Sandra says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Amen. I agree.
Amen.
Hattie Smith is watching. Thank you so much, Miss Hattie. I think Miss Hattie is in Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's Kansas City, Kansas, or either Kansas City, Missouri. But I think she's Kansas City, Kansas. Well, Miss Hattie is watching. Thank you, Miss Hattie, for watching.
Hey, Miss Hattie. Wow.
I'm telling you, they tune on over. I appreciate all these folks. I said they just tune in, and
I can't. That's beautiful that you have such a wide range of people. I mean, from around the country. How did that happen?
just sticking with it, being here, and I did the numbers for the end of the year, and our numbers came back from January. So it goes January 1 to December 31. We reached 200,000 folks, and they gave me like my top cities and countries. And what was it? Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria was the second largest city, next to, I want to say Grand Rapids came in first. But then, but it was either, I think Grand Rapids was first, then Lagos, Nigeria, and then New York City, and then Atlanta were my top markets.
Isn't that pretty amazing?
And then they break it down to age group, they break it down to gender, and we were surprised when we looked at the numbers that we have more men that tune in than we do women. Dave said, that's you. You, I said,
That's your
anyway.
pretty smile. See, that's what it is. Yeah.
And yep, we have more men that tune in than women. And the age range, we have some younger than 18 that are tuning in, and then even those over 90. But the median age was about 25 to 45.
Wow. That's amazing that they can get that kind of data, collect that kind of data from however they do these algorithms and all of that stuff. That's
It's amazing to me. Like I was able to even get, you can get it per show, per posting. Just with my husband, it'll be a year in April that he died. And he died on the 28th. And then on the 29th, I said yes to Gift of Life. And I'm so glad that I did, because I dedicated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 shows to talk about organ donating. I did some PSAs just off the cuff myself. And then I did my art prize. The piece was called Dying to Give Life. And it talked about everything that my husband had wrong with him. And yet he was able to change the lives of over 125 people.
Oh my gosh.
Because of the gifting. And in fact, I get to start meeting the people who were recipients of, some of the tissue. And then I get to meet those that received his eyes, because there were 2 people who were blind, and then they received their sight that same week.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I know I signed up to be, an organ donor, and it's if anything's working on me, they can be used. Use it.
Oh, trust me. They can. I was surprised. Being African American and you say you want to do that, absolutely. They are just going to fall in love with you, because that melanin works for everybody. Trust me.
Yeah.
And what I do love about the organ donor, it doesn't, we're getting all these hearts and likes, and thank you guys. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh, when you see all them hearts and stuff floating up.
That's beautiful.
That campaign alone, because I had it where when you went down to Art Prize, you could scan a QR code that went to a video that I did on YouTube about asking people to please give. Video might be 2-3 minutes long, and you need a tissue to watch it. I mean, when I finally did watch it, after I did it, it took me about a month or so before I could watch it. I cried. I was like, I want to give. I want to give.
And you did.
But so just that campaign alone, from those shows and me doing the videos and my art prize piece, 13,000 folks just jumped on the bandwagon, and they were able to give me, those numbers and break it down by groups. And then over 1,100 people became donors that had never thought about being a donor before. And then now people tell me that they've been sharing the videos with their family and their way of having conversations about wanting to be a donor. And then I went to December 8th, I went to Gift of Life, and I gave them my art prize piece. And so they're using it to teach.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. It's,
So have we realized the dream? I think absolutely. But I think that you realize that in your own sphere of influence, if that's what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that we hear so much negative. I think all the time I've been looking at you, my eyes have been like crooked because I'm looking at you on the screen. And my camera's up. I'm sorry.
You've been fine. You haven't really.
Oh my goodness. You hear so many negative things. I mean, there's so much just distrust
Mhm.
and a lot out of ignorance. And we don't understand wars the way the wars are happening in other countries because we've never experienced it on this show, on this soil, except for 9/11. And I don't know where we are, but yes, I think the dream has been realized, but I don't think that it has been owned by a lot of people. I don't think that they realize that they have it right here. Just just drink
You
of
know
it,
what I'm going to
take it,
say?
own it.
This is what I'm going to say. And when I counsel people, I always lead out with this. You understand, if you come to me, you're looking to change. You want something different. And it's, we're not going backwards. And you have to realize it's not everybody else. It's you, because you have you with you. And you have to look at yourself, look at your life and say, what am I benefiting from being this way? And then
Mm-hmm.
who is benefiting from me? How am I benefiting from being broken? And then how are others benefiting from me being broken?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have to look at it in that respect, now there's no more placing blame on other people. It's, wow, being broken works for me. Saying that, they don't give me anything and they don't do, and me saying I don't have reparations and I don't have, it's been working for me. But guess
Mm-hmm.
what? Me saying I'm not going to wait for them to ask me, I'm just going to show up. Because one of the things that being in the wheelchair did for me is I don't need you to invite me to your table. As long as I have a chair in the room, I'm going to show up. I don't have to be at the table. I just need to be in the room
Mm-hmm.
and honk my horn. Sometimes you can honk your own horn.
Yes. Yep.
You just got to show up in the room, because many times my chair can't even fit up to a table because of the legs that they have and the legs on my chair. So I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
a little bit back. And when I started thinking about that, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be at your table. Maybe I need to create a table that accommodates my chair and invite you to come to my table. Hence, this is my table rolling on the road.
Yep.
And I'm inviting you to come
Yes.
and be at my table.
You do a lot of thinking and a lot of, I like it. It's exciting. you, there's, yeah.
I appreciated Dave because yesterday I interviewed him, if you will, because we've talked about it, that over the years, have you seen change? He says yes in some areas and no in others. And again, he said the same thing, that what I have appreciated about him is that it's not that he mentored me so much, but it's that he has a white privilege card. He went and got a card for me and put my name on it and made me an authorized user. So he doesn't even have to be in the room for me to use the card. I can just say, excuse me, I got a card and here I come. Because
Uh-huh.
I got a
Uh,
card. And he always uses the example that he started with is when Governor Snyder had an $8 million mobility grant. I did the first part. We gave out like a little over 3 million bucks, but then there was 4.7 that was left. And so Governor Whitmer, her 15th day in office, had to, make the announcement to give that money out. And Dave says, now here's your card. You're going to use it. Go. I was like, I can't do all that. You're going to be on the stage with the governor. You're going to Detroit. We got
mhm.
you. And you're going. And when he pulled up that picture, there's a picture of, who is that? The director of transportation for the state of Michigan, the Michigan Economic Development Corps director, the Michigan Mobility Director, the governor, and me, little old me, up there on Cobo Hall stage with them. Over 10,000 folks are out there.
Where you
Plus,
should
when you add in all of the media outlet that came, and it was during the car show. And so here they are getting ready to give out $4.7 million. And I'm on the stage because he gave me his card and said, here you go.
Isn't that something? And that's where you should have been.
And he said, I've given the card out, I don't know how many times. He said, it's getting people to accept it. He said, you were one of the few that took the card, and you're probably the only one that still uses the card. He goes, because now, they don't even call my office anymore. They just call you directly, and they have been for I don't know how many years now. They just, I looked up, I'm on Instagram, and I see a picture with you at the county with the governor, and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know anything about that. And here it is, you two are, chumming it up, talking, having a conversation, and they're taking a picture, and then you guys turn and, you're holding this legislation. I'm like, he said, that's what I'm talking, that right there. That's what it's supposed to be about.
It should be about that. And unfortunately, sometimes we need an invitation or we need that card to open that door. But once you're in that room, I think there are two things that happen. First of all, you're in the room. Secondly, those who would normally be in that room realize there should not be, no one should be barred from this room.
I saw that with my own two looking eyes, heard it with my own two listening ears, and had to hold my mouth like this when I testified so the lobbyists were working with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services that the Centers for Independent Living fall up underneath. And this was, of course, the transitioning of a new governor, and they were changing budget line items. And so the Centers for Independent Living needed $3 million. Well, they have to split that among 15 centers for independent living. And if you don't know what those are, they are centers where you go. That's where I got to go. The VA paid that help you to get acclimated if you either acquire a disability or if you're living with a disability and you need assistance. Each center focuses on different things, but they all have to offer you job training, help you with housing, and help you with education. Those are the three main things that they have to do. Now, if they have other programming, that's fine. But those are the three main things that all Centers for Independent Living have to do, is help you get a job, help you with school, and help you to live independently if that's what you choose to do. And so the VA hired them for 24 months to teach me how to engage the world now that I had to engage it by wheelchair.
Is that enough? I mean, that couldn't be enough money for 15 centers. How much money was
it? It was they weren't getting that much. That was raising the budget line item up to $3 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be quite expensive on individual basis to train someone to find that independence, whatever the programs are. And that sounds expensive.
It is, but they have other monies and other state monies that come in order, to help them. It wasn't just that particular monies, but they needed someone to testify in front of the sub appropriation committee to justify that line item why they needed $3 million. So
Yeah.
they were like, Dr. Kimberly, we need you to go to Lansing. And I was like, you want me to do what? Huh? And you get 2 minutes to talk. So in 2 minutes, they said yes.
Can I ask you something personally?
You sure may.
How do you get around? How for you to get from where you are now to DeVos Hall? How was that? How did you?
My husband would take me everywhere.
But not this past weekend.
No, I rented a vehicle. But even when he was alive, so even still, we would rent. So for me to take I call this my Bentley. So if I want to take my Bentley, then we rent a vehicle from Creative Mobility. So shout out to shameless plug, Creative Mobility. Thank you so much. And rented it for the weekend because we had to pick it up on Friday because they're not open over the weekend. But yeah, I got a video doing that too. That one is so nice where you just see me wheeling up in there.
Wow. Those vehicles must be unbelievably priced.
They cost as much as a regular car. So you're actually purchasing a regular, yes. Okay, so let me help you to understand. So you're purchasing the vehicle. So if it's a terrain, like they have the GMC terrain that can be converted, you buy the terrain. If they run $35,000 for a new one, that's what you pay. But then you have to get your insurance company, or if you can afford to get it remodeled the way that you need it for you. So the VA will buy you, if you have to be 100% totally and permanently disabled, which I am. So once they determine that, then they will buy you one vehicle per lifetime, but they'll modify it as many times as you want to. So modifications can cost up to $35,000, if not more.
Yeah.
So it just, yeah.
Wow.
And then you have to, in order to get your own vehicle, you have to go through testing in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
In order to get your own vehicle. So I have a pump that helps to make my body work that's implanted in my stomach. I got it in December of 2021. I am just now getting to my therapeutic level. It's taken that long for me to know where my therapeutic level is. And I don't want to say it. So now that I know, I can start scheduling for me to go to Ann Arbor to be tested to see what modifications I would need in order for me to have a car.
Yes.
So I'm going to show it to you real quick. I thought this was, and you got to catch those moments. And I know people are like, what are they doing? Yeah, we having a moment. We just including you in.
Just a snapshot of our lives right now.
Yeah. But it's nice because you're asking questions. A lot of people ask or want to know, and they don't know if they should or if they can. And so I like moments like this. When
you can also say it's none of your business.
This is true.
But you're educating me and others that are listening. It's well. What are you looking for a picture of?
Yep. Okay, I got it. I'm so proud of myself. I'm doing all this little stuff. So I'm going to share screen. Share screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, go back. Will that take me back? No.
Uh, no,
I don't know how I do that then.
but you
Click
just shared
replay.
the screen, didn't you? Oh, okay. There's TikTok.
Just how we
Uh-huh.
roll,
Whoa.
how we roll. That's just how we roll.
Did you see it?
Yes, I did.
Or you didn't get to see it all?
No, I saw.
Okay. And then that's how I get around.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's a pretty vehicle.
Yeah, I should say. I mean, the way you went up in there and just was able to go right in there was great.
Yeah. And then you
I
get one of
won't.
those.
I won't say you're an inspiration because that turns you off.
No, that's not what I said. No, 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 no. I
You
said
say-
I know the difference, and I said, and I appreciate that. You know, it's not that pat on the head. Oh my God, you're so inspirational because you
yeah.
woke up today. But it is when you carry it through and say, "Oh my gosh, you're an inspiration," because now you've inspired me, and I call it, you know, a call to action.
Well, it makes me look at myself. I think everyone, when I see a person that's, I remember the symphony head Marcus Roberts, who's blind, jazz pianist, and I wrote a piece for us, or for the orchestra, chorus, and Marcus Roberts, and I'm going, how do I write a piece for a blind musician? And he had a degree in music from Florida, I think, and so the symphony said, call his manager. Called the manager. I'm going, does Marcus learn the music by Braille or because he was doing Rhapsody in Blue with orchestra? And so the piece I wrote was the overall thing was a blues form, which everyone knows. I mean, that's that kind of musician. They know the blues. You know, I have so much junk on this piano. Can you hear this?
Oh yeah, it's coming through.
So I got in rehearsal with Marcus. I'm sitting next to him in DeVos Hall at rehearsal on the piano bench. I said, Marcus, you're going to hear the orchestra play a certain theme, which you can borrow. And I've opened up, 24 bars, 36 bars, however much you want to play based on that theme. You can use it if you want. You don't have to. He took that thing and just went. He just no
Wow.
barriers. And I almost started weeping, thinking how much I complain and many people complain because of some temporary impediment, you know, or whatever it is. And I'm going, this man is taking this music and just going for it. And he was happy about it. And he said, oh man, we have to stay in touch because something, I don't know. I felt so I felt so I can't find the right descriptive because here's someone who was finding joy in making music to its better than I could with no complaints. With no complaints.
What I have appreciated the most. Hey, Miss Josie, Miss Josie Bell is watching. And for y'all who don't know Miss Josie Bell, she is she's a supervisor. Can't remember which district in Detroit, but she is Vanessa Bell Armstrong's stepmom.
Oh my
She's
God.
married to Mr. Bell. So hey,
Oh.
Mother Bell, thank you so much for tuning in.
Man, the people that you get tuning into your show is amazing. It's
What I have enjoyed the most, if I can say it that way, or the lessons I've learned is coming into the disability community. There's never a no for them. There's never, I can't, or that won't work. It's if you run into a roadblock, I could now go into a group that has, I think this one group, it may be 10,000 people that I don't know who added me because I didn't add me, but it says I think it's called I use a wheelchair, so what? And every day, all night long, somebody from all over the country is typing in what they've done, what type of chair, the things that they do, what you can do, how do you, get a wheelchair ramp put up, or, how do I widen the doors and I don't want to move. And I don't care what it is. If it's a medication, if it's a procedure, they don't mind sharing, and they never meet a problem. And there's always an answer. And it's never known. It's never, a negative. It's almost like the best way I can describe it is ants. Ants, they march. If you drop a crumb, they're gonna all stop. They're gonna gather together, pick it up together, and keep on marching.
yes.
If it's not a crumb, if you put your finger there to try to get them to stop, they immediately shift and go to the left. If you put your finger over to the left, they immediately shift and go to the right. And you can watch and you can sit and keep doing that. And they're going to just keep pivoting until they get back to the anthill. And that's what I have found in the disability community, that regardless of what you put, and I'm not saying that all of them are like that, but trust, because there are those who, again, like I was saying earlier, they benefit from people fawning over them and them like, oh, woe is you, being in the chair. It works for them.
Mm-hmm.
That don't work for me.
Yeah, I never see you that way.
That don't work for me. I have people get upset. Well, you just want to be independent. How am I trying to be independent? I think I should.
Why would you want me to be independent?
I'm only seeing you for 5 minutes, or you just walk past as I'm getting out of a car. And yeah, I still got to live when you leave.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's the reason.
Hold on. She said, "Hello, dear Supervisor Josie Bell. It's Supervisor of Michigan Southwest Second Jurisdiction under Bishop Ethan Sheard is the jurisdiction bishop designee." Thank you, Mother. I sure appreciate it. So I got it together, y'all.
Awesome.
It is. She's the supervisor of the Michigan Southwest Second Jurisdiction.
All right. Isn't it? So you got immediate feedback. Isn't that something that technology has allowed us to be immediately in contact with someone? It's
and do it in real time.
Even
I was when I met her, I was in my wheelchair. I didn't have this chair yet, and I didn't have my pump. And I drove myself over to. Did we were in Detroit or were we in Lansing? Maybe we all met in Lansing for the Business and Professional Women's Federation for the Churches of God in Christ had a tea, and she was there. And I tell you, she just embraced me and loved on me. Papa Bell just embraced me and loved on me, and I'll send out hugs and kisses. and her daughter is just, oh, wonderful. They have just been so kind to me over the years, and I appreciate them. And what I loved about Mother Bell, she didn't look at me like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, because they invited me to come over and to speak and to talk about what I had done as the president of the Business and Professional Women's Federation for the Churches of God in Christ, and just the things that I've done within the community. And it's how people treat you. And so Mother Bell treated me with kindness, love, and respect. It wasn't that little girl in the wheelchair, as
Mm-hmm.
if there were, something wrong.
For
Uh,
you.
Yeah, she didn't at all. She just said, "Girl, you're so pretty." I said, "Thank you, mother." And of course, I need help with my food, cutting things up or whatever I needed done. But everybody was so kind in the way that it was done. It wasn't, well, she just got it. It wasn't
Mhm.
that. How may I assist you? Oh, do you mind? I needed this, and this. Okay, no problem. But normally, I tell people ahead of time so that we do it and there's not all that fuss and muss.
It's
But it is.
there's a training that you give people or anyone that would need assistance. Sometimes we don't know what to do. And with your kindness, with your guide, with your directing, we learn how to be of assistance.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, you're an independent woman, just the way you carry yourself, but you still need
It's called interdependence.
ah.
It's called
Of
interdependence.
course, Dr. Kim, you would have the words. That's exactly what it is.
It's interdependence, and we all you know are we're in
Interdependent.
we're entwined with each other. John says that no man is an island.
Yep.
No, nobody is an island. We all
Yeah.
have to live together, and we all depend on one another. Now, we don't want to be codependent, but we all are interdependent upon each other.
That that was well said. Of course it would be from you. We
I learned.
are interdependent.
Mhm,
We are.
we are.
Wow.
And so when people say, "Oh, I'm independent," I said, "Baby, no, nobody does it all by themselves.
Yeah.
You have to independently make the decision to be. But when you get ready to execute, now you become interdependent."
Mm-hmm.
That just came to my mind right then. I just
You're
like,
just
okay,
brilliant, just
let me just think this one up through. So now I'm going to add that in as I begin to teach, people,
but
because
it's
that's.
true
But
that
thank
we
you.
are, yeah, that we are interdependent, even though we can become quite proficient at something. And sometimes our ego makes us think that
Yeah,
it's just us, but it's not just us.
and that's what it is. I'm proficient in knowing how to get in and out of a car.
Yeah.
I'm proficient in that. Um, but I still need assistance. But
That's,
I'm proficient on how I'm going to get in and out. And like this morning, I had to be at the hospital by 3:45 this morning for an MRI.
AM.
Yes, I
Oh
called
my.
an Uber.
You called an Uber.
Yep, and the
Um,
Uber took me to the hospital. And then um, when I had to get on the table, they brought the table out to me to my wheelchair. She goes, and it came all the way down. So my manual wheelchair, I call it my Mercedes C class. If I got to be in it, I'm gonna be stylish. Okay, so this is the Bentley, and then that's the Mercedes C class. And then I actually owned, when I was driving, I owned a Range Rover that the VA paid for. Now that was my car that they paid for. It
Yeah.
was a Range Rover, but I could pivot on the one foot, fold up that chair with one arm, and toss it on the back seat, and then pull myself in the car. Because with the Range Rover, it comes down, and then when you get in and you cut it on, it raises back up. Well, the
Wow.
one that I had,
Yeah.
so it was down lower, so I got in, and then it raised up when I got up.
I'm kind of stuck with the Uber. I mean, don't you have to request a certain kind of Uber?
No, I just don't do the big pickup trucks because that's just too much for somebody to try to lift me up. But I mean, I can do those too because all I do is from my wheelchair, I put the left leg in, where your feet are. I just put that leg up there first, and then I grab the
The
bar.
bar.
And then I can pull my weight and pull myself in to the cab.
How much smaller is your C class than the one you're in?
It's significantly smaller. It's a regular
Okay.
wheelchair that you see, not the 400-pound one. This the little one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
And that one just folds up in the center. So
Okay.
that's not the same type of wheelchair as, let's say, somebody who has a spinal cord injury. Their chairs come apart. So because they have their upper body. I call it. I'm still trying to get Webster to put it in the dictionary about being a vertical halfiplegic. Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do some thinking about that one.
All right, I'm gonna explain it to you. So you either are a paraplegic, I mean this is para, and that means your lower body doesn't work, but your upper body does, or you're quadriplegic. So all four of your quadrants do not work. But when you have a stroke and half of your body doesn't work, that's vertical. And it's still half. So that's a vertical halfiplegic.
Whoa. So what does Webster think about that?
Nobody has said nothing to me. So I think what I'm going to do is I can get it probably in the Urban Dictionary.
Uh-huh.
And so that's one of my goals for this year is get it into the Urban Dictionary and then see if I can't get the medical community to start putting it into
Because they have to own
notes.
it. I think the medical people have to own that new terminology.
No, you know what they call, so what they have in there for me, it's called hemiparesis. That means hemi meaning half paralyzed.
Okay.
I told him I don't want to.
Well,
So
knowing the kind of woman that you are, it will be done. We don't know
so
when.
I'll just go with the vertical halfiplegic right now and get it in the Urban Dictionary. So
I applaud you, not because of your disability, but I
my
love your
tenacity.
tenacity. Exactly.
Mhm.
And many times that's what it takes. People get disappointed and it's like, no, come on, just stick to it. Just insist on it. Will it to be so. And that's the way you are. It's like, I'm not taking no. I'm just going to keep doing it until hey, the light changed in my room. You
Yeah.
know what? I looked, the sun changed. Yeah, it was so bright for a while that I was like in a haze. It changed.
That's why I moved over here because the sun's been coming up over there. Because normally I'm down there in my office,
Yeah.
and which is a big sunroom. So hence its name, sunroom. The way I sit, that sun was coming in, and I couldn't see the screen,
Yeah.
and I couldn't see, so I moved over here because we've been having more sunny days than we have been cloudy.
I thought you moved for me.
you know, I just wanted to see my home. Thank you. Just all
Wow.
them books.
You look at that. You know, I asked you the other day, I said, so what are we going to talk about? And you just wanted it to unfold naturally. And in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, I didn't talk about this or this or this or this. And we just went where we went. But I so much appreciate your just letting me be a part of your 100 Shades of Diverse Abilities. Is that what the program is called?
No, it's called Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave.
Well, where is that? I see it nowhere on your anything.
That's because it's a program under 100 Shades. So 100 Shades powers it.
It's yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big umbrella. Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Absolutely.
We have not talked like this, not like this, not for so long.
And look, and that's how I ended up talking to. Um, that was a good. I can't wait for you to watch the video and call me and say, "Oh my gosh,
With
y'all
Richard,
went there." Mm-hmm.
when I saw, because when you sent me something, it's, I saw Richard Smallwood and I'm going, whoa, she interviewed Richard Smallwood? I don't even know how you got that to happen. How did you? You're not telling. Okay.
No, actually, my son knows his manager, and he said, I got to try to keep my job with my mom. She paid me. So this is the real truth. Uh, he told me that he knew Yana Crawley and he could get a hold of Richard Smallwood. I told him if he could get them on my show, have them booked by the time he signed his contract with me, I would pay him a $10,000 bonus.
Whoa. Wow. All right.
He would get a $10,000 sign-on bonus. So I talked to Miss Crawley and I talked to the manager. I had the days, the day that they were going to come on the show booked. So I told him, okay. So when I signed my son on as the producer of the show, I told him meet me at the bank. And I had his contract all signed and everything ready. And he signed it, notarized it. And they handed him a check, a cashier's check for 10 grand. And they let him cash it. Since I could write a check for 10 grand, they let him cash it because his mama is a good customer at the Fifth and Third Bank.
All right, Miss Kim. Yes.
So they cashed it without him having an account. And the fact that he lives in Atlanta. So yeah, I'm saying it. So I think that King's dream has been realized in my life anyway.
I know. You're a mover and a shaker and a tenacious lady.
Oh, Mother Bell said that we met in Lansing, and she said that I was an amazing woman of God. Thank you, Mother. And she says we all have some kind of challenges. Yeah, we do. But I appreciate the way you and Papa press on through. And Doretha is now just watching and not working.
Oh
but
my gosh.
but yeah, that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Is he just knew the manager, and the manager was like, "Well, who is this?" He said, "Man, look, man, I gotta do this for my mom. I gotta, And it worked out. It worked out well.
Isn't that something?
And he came on sight unseen. We didn't have. He said, "Does she have any prepared questions?" I said, "No." I said, "I just have a title." I said, "Leading while bleeding." And he said, "Well, tell her I'll give her a copy of the book." So me and the manager were texting back and forth what he said, and that's so funny because I saw the text messages, and he said, "Well, tell me what time Richard needs to be there. Send the link. I'll get it to him." and he came on, and I was just like,
I know you become like want to stutter or become tongue tied in a sense. But I've learned, like when I taught at Indiana University, I was teaching with folks whose CDs I had, folks who sang at the Met or at La Scala or Covent Gardens, and I'm going, they're my colleagues. They're right down the hall from me, or they're next door to me, and you have to pinch yourself, but you realize
like, oh, it's real.
it's real.
Yeah.
But they are ordinary people too. I mean,
They are.
they're ordinary people. They have the same needs and desires that we have. They've just had a road that's maybe different, that put them in a, you know, in a place that we haven't been necessarily.
Well, what I think is funny is that people think that I'm famous, and I just be like, really? What? And so when they see me in public, they're like, oh my God, you're like, you real. I said, I am.
You're real.
Yeah. In fact, I want to say Sunday, this lady came up to me. She says, oh my God, it's you. And I was like, who? Who, girl? Who is it? What are we talking about? She said, you're all over social media. She said, you got this show. I know you. And I was like, you do? She was like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, you go here. And I said, I do. And so we started talking, and I started ministering to her. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't wait till I tell my friends I met you. I just was like, oh, okay. I just think that I'm me. I'm just regular.
You're just you. Yeah.
And, people say, oh my gosh, I saw you with the governor. Didn't I see you? And y'all was like, y'all know each other for real? Y'all be hugging and stuff. And I was like, well, God, just about that much. Right there on my table, I have right behind me, she wrote a condolence letter and sent it to me. So I was like, yeah. I just appreciate the part where she says that Stan's smile will be greatly missed, because when I attended events in West Michigan, he was always there. And so his smile will be greatly missed. And on behalf of all Michiganders, I was just like,
because underneath a position, she's an ordinary person.
she is.
I mean, really, and I appreciate when people of a certain status or someone that has visibility that is looked upon and awed upon, and you get to meet and talk and realize you're human, you're ordinary, you're
And I told them, they're like, oh my gosh, look at you. And I said, honey, you didn't see me before I got here. I was trying to wheel my body, to come on. I need you to move for me. I need you to come on. Now, legs, I need you to work. Arms, come on. And they don't always cooperate. And so I just lay there. So, okay, when y'all ready, I'll move at y'all pace.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's awesome.
When y'all ready. I was like, okay, Lord, you know better than I do.
It really does.
Why the delay? And
it really does.
A lot of times it makes that moment when I get ready to speak so much more powerful when I think about what it took for me to get there or to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, that's a testimony right there of just.
I mean, I have had 5 head surgeries with no anesthesia, 2 jaw surgeries.
Whoa, come on.
Thyroid cancer, a stroke, and a heart attack.
I read that. I read about you and did not realize all of those things that you've gone through. Because when I see you, it's just like You don't carry that. You don't carry it. And that's a beautiful thing, because a lot of people, baby, my arm hurts right here and it's been hurting all week, and I okay, I'm sorry. I mean, you want to have compassion for someone, but you don't put all of your stuff out there like, I want you to feel sorry for me because I've gone through this. I've never seen that in you. What an
Well,
inspiration. Oh,
you have to make a choice. It's up to you. And what I appreciated about the first doctor that I got, and when he told me that I had cancer, he said, "You're gonna have to sign this agreement that we're gonna work as a team. That medicine is not magic, and I'm not a magician. You- It's called practicing medicine. So if you find something that might work that I don't know, we're gonna try it." Oh, Mother Bell said she really is down to earth, a down to earth person, a lovely young woman. Her presence in the room makes a difference. Thank you, Mother.
it does.
And he told me that I would have to get a team. He said, because trust me, there are going to be days when you think that you can't do this and you can't be strong. You're going to need them to be strong for you. And so I never did find that team like that. And so I had to rely on myself. I really did. Do I
Mm,
have that team now? Oh my gosh, yes, I
yeah.
do. I call them my tribe, and they pour just as much into me as I do into them. They send words of encouragement every day. I send words of encouragement, back. We pray for one another, and
But
the well.
play the
Mhm.
scenario if you weren't the kind of person that you are. I mean,
I would have died a long time ago.
of course.
I mean, I have died, and they've brought me back, but I probably would not have had the will to stay here,
Yes.
because there were times, and I think this is the part that resonated with. Ooh, we going there. As I did the interview with Richard Smallwood, was being honest of saying, "Yep, there were days where I thought about committing suicide, and then I thought about this last time that I really thought about it. I looked at all the people that depend on me being who I am." And one young lady said to me, because I had to call her, and I said, "Today, I thought about committing suicide, and I just wanted you to know. So if you don't feel that you can talk to me, but I feel that you need to know, because I do talk to you and I am coaching you, through life, that I had a moment." And oh, thank you. Somebody sending hearts. And really, committed suicide, wanting to commit suicide is no different than someone who's addicted to drugs or alcohol. Doretha says, "Okay, I love y'all. I have to go to Bible study. Great show." Thank you, Doretha.
You're human.
And but I felt like I had to tell my truth. Just like if I used to be an alcoholic and I've been, clean for 10 years, and something happens and I fall off the wagon, then I feel like I owe it to the other people that, let's say, I'm a sponsor to say I fell off the wagon. You know,
Because just that admittance allows them to realize that some of the challenges that they experience, uh, you know, that you're not immune to that. And to hear you say it, it just, we
but
know that.
now that was in October of 2022. And from that day to this one, And I received a phone call from Chicago. In the moment that I was going to do it, got a text. First, she called, the phone rang, and then it stopped. And then the text came through. So I don't know if, when she did the texting, because there's a spot where you can either record a message or call right in that moment, however that happened. But I read it. And bottom line, she was just saying how proud she was of me and what an honor it was for her to call me her spiritual daughter. And I just started weeping. And I said, wow, did somebody over on the west side, all the way in Chicago, is thinking about me and said that.
That's awesome. Yeah, as you were reading names of people that were looking at this, it just reminds us of how far-reaching our presence can be.
Yes.
And we never know. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond and you get these ripples out, 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 out. It's not just this pebble here, but it keeps reaching wider than we can ever imagine. And I think to hear you speak and to look at you read the names of people that have checked in, it's far-reaching. You tenacious lady, you determined lady, you.
I'm excited. The West Michigan's Women's Magazine has an award dinner every year. It's called the Brilliance Awards, where they nominate women of different categories. I won in 2022 the Change Agent Award. And then last year, I nominated two people, as you said, one for tenacity. They have an award for tenacity. And the other one was for Woman of the Year. And my Woman of the Year won. So this year, I had some friends and folks who are nominating me for Woman of the Year. And and they're all over the United States. It wasn't just, I'm trying to think, were there that many in Michigan? Or even if it were in Michigan, they're not in the city. Some are, but I think there are just as many outside of the city and out of the state that were like, yeah, because I'm going to talk about how you've impacted me.
I was just in New Orleans in January.
Oh, yeah.
I had taught at Western this past fall, subbing for a guy that was on sabbatical who went to South Africa. And I was directing the vocal jazz group, and that group sang at the National Jazz Educators Convention. I didn't know that I had been nominated and I became the recipient of the Ellis Marcellus Jr. Educator of the Year award.
That's clapping in sign language. Because you got to have two good hands to clap. They got to be able to go.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I read the letters of people that wrote in
to nominate you.
I just started weeping because
you need to tease you.
I got one, girl. I got it right here.
It needs to tease you. Get to tease you.
I couldn't believe as I read these letters that people thought what they think of me. I mean, these are folks from their former students, their colleagues, their professionals, even like Janice Siegel from Manhattan Transfer wrote a letter for me. People in England, everywhere. And I was just like,
see, it's this right here.
I said in my acceptance speech, I said, as I read these letters of support,
And then you got to do this right here.
you need to quit it right now. I said, we need to do this every day to people. We need to say what we feel that is positive about what they mean to us. Yeah.
It would embarrass my kids, but I told them, I got to do this for me. So I could be anywhere and I would roll up on folks. I just want you to know your hair is pretty today.
I do it. I mean, I'll say it to folks that, gosh, that's a nice shirt. I said it last night at our rehearsal, getting ready for Black Panther. I said, some guy had on this sweater that I know I would look good in that sweater. I said, that is an awesome sweater right there. That's all I said. And then I went on to rehearsal. But it was. I don't know if where he got it, where would it, I don't know. Maybe his kids gave it to him. Maybe his wife gave it to him. I don't know. But it was an awesome sweater. I didn't say, you know, I'd look real good in that sweater. Where'd you get it? I didn't say that. But I'm thinking, that's a sharp sweater.
But it was right
there. If you read minds.
Right there. Right there.
Ooh, I got a bald head, don't I?
And you and me both.
All right. That's why I feel so comfortable with you. Yeah. Hey.
It's the bald head.
Hey, I have to go.
I do too. Do you realize that it is now 6:22 and the show was over? It was only from 4 to 5. And if you was worried about what we was going to talk about, I just think that's funny.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love this time.
I was like, you're going to be all right.
That's a comfort thing. It's like, I got you, baby.
I told you. I said, I had you.
You did.
He was like, I trust you.
I said, woo, if she puts me out there, like, okay, now what you going to do? No, you said, I got you. Thank you.
What's my time? It's the 2 hours and 22 minutes and 46 seconds.
We're looking at the same clock. I see that. No, it's 52 now. It's 53 seconds. Yeah.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I almost wish that you could edit this and put in what's.
But guess what? It was live and it's the way it needed to be. And people came in and out and they made their comments and it was nice. And
it was nice meeting people that tune in to you. And there's a reason they do. Because you have a purpose. God is working his purpose out. Yeah.
I appreciate that. But this is one of those conversations that if you edit anything, it'll take away from it because it was built precept upon precept.
You're
so it can't
be pulled apart. You're so smart.
Woo! Yeah, it can't be pulled apart. You got to take it all. So
you mentioned
they couldn't watch movies this long.
You mentioned your mother and the Robeson Players.
Mm-hmm.
That really took me back. Way back.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
All righty.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
See you
next time.
All right.